Hi everyone, it's Teresa back with a new tutorial on Craving Crochet.
Let me show you something.
All right, thank you so much for joining me today on Craving Crochet. It's Teresa back with another tutorial. I made this beautiful, lovely scarf. Very easy to make. I just wanted to do a quick tutorial so that you can possibly make this for your friends, your family. It's a very easy, beginner-friendly tutorial. This lovely scarf. I actually made it with 2 different stitches, but it's quite easy to do. I hope you enjoy it. It's quite easy. Give it a try, and on with the tutorial. Okay, so to start this project, I'm going to use this yarn. It's from Lion Brand. It's called Lion Brand Textures, and this colorway is called Mystical Moors, and it is made in Turkey. It's a medium 4 weight yarn, and it says to use a 5.5 millimeter hook, but I'm going to use a 6 millimeter hook, so you need some yarn. To make this, you'll need a skein plus maybe a little bit more, not much more. So how big is this? This is 85 grams, 149 yards. So you need a little bit more than that, just a touch, just to make the fringes at the end. But I really like the way it's variegated and it changes colors. It's really pretty. And you're also going to need a needle for cleaning in your ends and a pair of scissors. Okay. So to start this project, we are going to start by making a chain of 40. Okay, so we are going to make a chain of 40, so I make a slip knot, just like this. Then you grab your hook, oops, grab your hook, and I'm just using the 6 millimeter because it makes nice big loops, and then I can see what I need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to continue making another 30 because we're going to make 40 altogether. I had to think about that one. So I'm going to make another 30 chains, and then I will meet you back. Okay, so I've made my 40. So they're nice and loose because this yarn is a little bit tricky at first when you're first starting. So that's why I decided to use this larger hook. And so the first thing we need to do is to go into the 5th chain from the hook and make a double crochet. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over, insert my hook into that stitch, and make a double crochet. So this here, all these chains will represent a double crochet, and then we go into that same stitch, so yarn over and make another double crochet in there. So you're going to make 2 in one stitch, and then we're going to skip one. So you're going to skip the next stitch and go into the next and make 2 double crochets in that same stitch. Yarn over, go into that same stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and there we have 2 now. So you've done 1 and 2. So I will do one more on camera, yarn over, skip the next stitch, go into the following, and make a double crochet just like this, 1 and then yarn over, go into the same stitch, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we're going to keep doing this all the way along. I'll meet you back before we reach the end of this row to give you the next set of instructions. So I will be back meet you back at the end of the row. Okay, so I've reached the end of the row, just about the end of the row. I did my last group of 2, and I have about 2 stitches left. So what the way to do this pattern is you yarn over, and you're just going to make a double crochet in the very last stitch, just like this. Just go into that last stitch and make your double crochet. If I can show you, just like that. So you have one at the end here, just like you did one in the beginning, right? So now it's very, very simple. What we need to do is make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work, and then, so this is going to represent a double crochet as well, this chain 3, and then we're going to go into this space between the 2 double crochets from the previous row, and we're going to make 2 double crochets in that space, just like this. Did I grab the yarn? Go in again, and you just make 2 double crochets. So that's 1, and yarn over, go into that same space, and 2. So you're putting that group of 2 on top of the previous group of 2 from the previous row. So then we're just going to repeat that. So we go into not this space, which is beside that space where we skipped. We're going to go always in that space of the 2 double crochets from the previous row. So we just go into that space and make 2 double crochets in that 2 chain space. Well, it's not 2 chains, it's 2, it was no chains, there's no chains, it's just we made 2 double crochets in the same stitch, which makes a little space, and we're just going to work in that little space that we created. So I'll just do one more. So again, you're not going in here, which is that skipped one, you're going to go into this one where you made those 2. So we just go in there and we make another 2 double crochets, and we're just going to repeat this pattern, working all the way along till you come to the end. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've almost finished the second row. So here, let me put the yarn here. So I've done my 2 double crochets on top of the one that I did below. And so now what we're going to do is you're going to yarn over, and you're going to make a double crochet at the top of the turning chain. So I just kind of go like in the corner type of thing right there. Or you can count 3 and then just make your double crochet. So it's a double crochet on top of the turning chain. And now all we do is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn. And we're just going to keep doing this pattern. So now, once again, you go into that space where the 2 double crochets are from the previous row. Make 2 double crochets, just like that. And I love the way the color changes in this yarn. It's really pretty. It's going to look so nice. So I'll do one more just to show you. So again, you don't go into that space beside, you go into that space between the 2 double crochets from the previous row. So that's 1 and 2, and we're just going to keep doing that all the way to the end of the row. Then we're going to make the last one in here, and then we're going to make a double crochet on top of that 1, 2, 3, about right in there. You just insert your hook in there and make your double crochet, and just keep doing this pattern. And so we're going to do this for a total of 12 rows. So we've got two, almost two, we got two and we're starting our third. So we've got 9 more to go. And then once you reach that, I will come back and I'll show you the next step. Meet you back. Okay, so I've done my 12 rows. And I'm liking the way this is looking. I love the colorway in it. It's so pretty. Let me just show you. I made one before. And then I decided to make a video and make another one. So again, I started with the 12 rows of the stitch. And then I thought to myself, look how wide it is. And I'm like, how long do I have to go up? So I thought, I'm going to start working it this way. In order, because I like that this is, the width is good for a scarf. So I started making this other stitch in here. So let me show you how I do that. Isn't that pretty, the combination of the two? I really like it. So I thought, let me just show people how I'm doing this. And so once you finish your 2 double crochets in that chain space, you make, you connect. Let me just go through it. Let me just show you, because I was starting to work on it. So I did that, and then I reached the end of the row, and then I just yarn over and make a double crochet at the top of that chain 3 space, or chain 3 beginning chain. And then what we're going to do is, again, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to turn our work sideways, and we're going to not work in this one, the first hole we're not going to work in, but we're going to work in the second one, and we're going to make 3 double crochets in there, 2 and 3, just like this. And then I'm just going to repeat that again. So you're going to skip this one, go into the next one, make 3 double crochets in that next chain space. And then you just continue this all the way along. You're going to skip this one, go into the next one, make 3, and I'll meet you back because my battery's dying, so I got to change this battery here. And I'll show you how I end this row. I'll be right back. Let me just do one more. Hopefully the camera will not die. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm almost at the end of this round or row, which is much smaller now. So you're going to skip this one and go into this last space and make 3 chains, or 3 double crochets, not 3 chains, 3 double crochets, just like this. So it's like a granny stitch. So then you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work around, and then this is very simple. You just continue working in these spaces here in between each of these chain 3, not chain 3, 3 double crochet clusters. That's what they're called, 3 double crochet clusters. So there we go. We start in the second row, and then we go into the next. And my yarn is getting tangled, but I really like this yarn. It's like, the color is really nice. The color changes are really, really nice. It's ombre-ish kind of. I don't know. I really like the combination of the colors. It's so pretty. Let's see if I can finish this row on camera. So again, so it's the first row that you start. You just do the 3 double crochet clusters in every other space. So I didn't do it in the first one, but I did in the second one, and I skipped that one, did it in the next, just like that, right? And then from after that, then you just do it in each space from the previous. So another one. Oops, I need more yarn. Okay. I'll just try and finish this on camera. Hopefully I'll have enough space on my card to do this for you. Okay, one more, in that last space. So 1, 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets, just like this. And there you have it. Isn't that looking pretty? I like the 2 combinations. And then you just chain 3, flip your work, and just keep working 3 double crochet clusters in between. And then the last one, just like that. So I believe I did this for, let me see. I made, let's see if I can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, not even on camera here. Let me do it again. So I did, okay, I'm on camera. I'm gonna have to edit all that stuff out. 1, 2, I'm gonna count it off camera and I'll come right back. Okay, so I counted those all off camera. I did 33 rows of this granny 3 double crochet clusters. I did 33 rows of it. So you've got a combination of this pretty lacy stitch, double crochets, and a combination of 3 double crochet cluster stitch to make a pretty beautiful scarf. So let's carry on with that, with the stitch here in the pattern that we're working on. And we're going to make, like I said, 33, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to finish this beautiful scarf. Meet you back at the end of 33 rows. Okay, so I'm back, but I decided to make it differently this time around. Instead of doing it the way I had done previously, by having it half this and then half this, or the rest of the skein, this stitch, the 3 clusters versus the 2 clusters. What I've decided to do, so we're not going to stop at 16 unless, or sorry, at 33 unless you want to do it that way. You can continue and do the 33, but I've stopped at 16. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my yarn. Whoops. Oh dear. Cut my yarn, and I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to start working on this side so that it'll be balanced. So we're going to have 16 on one side, then this pretty stitch in the middle, the 2 clusters in the middle, the 3 clusters on one side, 3 clusters on the other side. I think it will look more balanced that way. So I did 16. So in order to finish the skein, we do 16 on one side and 17 on the other, because 17 and 16 makes 33. So I want to finish the whole skein. So to start this, you just simply go into, I guess, so I flipped it around, and you just go into that corner and then attach your yarn. Okay, I had everything tangled, so I had to go off camera and untangle. So like I said, I went to the top of this chain 3, and I'm going to attach my yarn by just putting it over my hook and bringing it through like that, and I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're just going to repeat what we did previously. So we're not going to work in this first space, but we're going to work in the second space. So yarn over and make 3 double crochets in that. 1, 2, and 3. Just like this. So we're doing the exact same thing we did on the other side. Just a repeat. And then you're going to skip this one, go into the next, and do the same thing. 3 double crochets, 3 double crochet clusters, yarn over, skip this stitch, this space, go into the next, and do the same thing. 1, 2, and 3 double crochets, just like that. So just carry on, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Alright, so I'm almost at the end of the row, so I thought I would just show you how I finish this row and start the next one. So you skip the next space, go into the last space, and make your 3 double crochet clusters. 1, 2, and 3, just like this. And there's your first row. So now to start your next row, we're going to chain 3. Okay, so I chain 3, flip this over, and don't drop your hook the way I just did. And oops. Then you're just going to go into that first space and make your 3 double crochet clusters, just like we've been doing. Now we don't have to skip any, just the first row. You skip them. You do every other one. So just like that. So it looks like the corner here of when you're making a granny square kind of thing. It reminds me of. And then you go into the next. Do the same thing. 3 double crochet clusters. And I'll meet you at the end of this round, or row, not round, we're working in rows. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm coming to the end of this row. So I just finished making my 3 double crochets in that space. And now I'm at the last space where we need to work once again. So we're going to make another 3 double crochet clusters. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you make a chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, flip, work over, and start the process again. Go into the next space and make your 3 double crochet clusters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this for a total of 17 rows. I did 16 on one, 17 on the other, because it was an odd number. So if you look at this, it's quite nice. And I think this will be more balanced looking than the first one. The first one was kind of like, I was just fooling around with the yarn and just seeing what I'd come up with. And I thought the second time around, I think maybe I will balance it a bit more by doing, having this double. Okay, I am all done. This was the first one. Again, it had the 2 clusters on one side and the 3 clusters on the other side. So I decided to make so that this piece is in the middle, and then we're going to have clusters, 3 clusters on this side and 3 on this, or balance it out, not 3, but the 3 cluster amount. So if that makes any sense. So this is that pretty double stitch of single crochet. And then I did some clusters on one side. You can't see it all on this table, it's not big enough. But I think it looks more balanced. And then I started it on the other side, just how I went through it all and showed you. And I like it both ways is nice. And I really like this yarn. The colorway is really pretty. I like the color combination. So now what we're going to do is just make some fringes. But we're not going to do it the usual way. I just want to keep crocheting. Okay, so I finished the other end, and now we're going to start the fringe. And what I'm thinking of doing is just simply making chain fringes. So I'm going to do, I think 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to do either 20 or 30 chains. So that was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I don't know if 20 would be long enough. 20, let's try 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Let's do 25. So it's a nice long fringe. I think it'll look nice when you do a bunch of them. So what I think I'll do is grab my scissors, and I'll keep a long tail. Cut a long tail, and then just pull through. Just leave the long tail, tighten it up, and then we can trim these at the end, right? So I only have this much yarn left, so I may as well just start with a new skein. I don't know what color we're going to get to start with. Let's see what we got here. That is purple. I don't think it really matters because it's got all these colors, so I'm just going to start with whatever's here. So what do we got? We got, 1 second, I'll be back. Alright, so here's the beginning of the new skein, and it looks kind of like purplish color, which is still going to blend in because we have all these different colors here. So I'm just going to add another yarn strand and start my 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Is it even with the other one? Yeah. It's pretty even, yeah. And then I'm going to cut my yarn, leave a long tail, and I'm just going to keep doing it in this fashion. So I'll leave a bit of a long tail, and then we'll try and make them all as even as possible. I think that would be an easy way to do a fringe on one side, and then we're just going to keep going through each stitch here and then do it on the other side. So just carry on doing this. I know it's, you know, then we're going to have to clean up the ends, but that's okay. I don't think it's a big deal because it's a fringe, right? So I'm going to try and weave them all in at the end, but just carry on doing this, putting your yarn in each stitch along the edge, making a chain of 20, 25, 30, however long you want, and I think 25 is long enough. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Let me show you something.